Yeah, there's something insane about stacking barrels this high. Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Release Winery. Every wine tells a story. Each growing season, it's our goal to create an artisan Napa Valley wine of exceptional quality. Join us as the story of this ultra-limited wine continues. Learn more at releasewinery.com.
She founded the first laboratory for wine services.
Really?
Yep, in the late 70s. She and a friend just rented a little storefront in downtown Healdsburg. 1979, there was nothing there. There was like a Greyhound station and a hardware store, a couple of biker bars, and put in this kind of makeshift lab to provide wine services, and it ended up being like right place, right time, and it kind of really took off with the wine industry because small producers just didn't have anywhere to take samples or get winemaking products before she provided that service. So that kind of got her like really involved in the wine industry, and then she got interested in winemaking. So after 10 years working in the lab, she founded our label, which is Bannister Wines. And that was always kind of a smaller, I don't want to say side project, she put a lot of passion into it, but she kept working, running the lab, and then would kind of make the wines during harvest. She was doing consulting winemaking for a number of different people, so she would just have her fruit brought to wherever she was doing the consulting winemaking, and then have them crush, process for her, and cellar the wine there. Yeah, really busy. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It was really impressive. And for me, I just kind of took that for granted growing up, having a mom that did all that. But later on, as you go other places and everything kind of falls into context, then I realized that was kind of rare at the time. And especially if coming from a middle-class background into an industry that's often like wineries are started by people that have a lot of money or companies that have a lot of money. So, it was just get a loan and work hard and make the business work. There weren't, I think there were some women, at her time, there were some, she was a small group of trailblazers then. And I think I had the experience that women seem to have better palates than men, actually. It is a custom crush facility, yeah. Okay. There's not a lot of equipment involved dealing with these really small amounts. I think when you get into those large production facilities, then then you're on the forklift all the time. Then you're moving hoses all day. So I actually, for me, the amount of work I do, we only make 1,000 cases a year. So, it's hard work during harvest, but the cellar work the rest of the year is kind of low impact. I guess I never even think about that stuff. It's kind of second nature. So yeah, we focus on Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, a little bit of Zinfandel, a little bit of Rosé, and a little bit of Riesling. My mom, when she got interested in winemaking specifically, she was interested in Pinot Noir because at the time in the 80s, there's just a handful of people making Pinot Noir in West Side, Russian River Valley here. Nobody outside of this area really thought of California as a Pinot Noir producing, or somewhere that you would get great Pinot Noir from. Like it was still a secret. And those guys were kind of, those men and women were kind of working in the dark to a certain degree because their wines weren't widely known. And Pinot Noir was very tricky, it's tricky to grow, it's tricky to make wine out of. So they were still like doing a lot of work just to kind of figure it out and get consistency from harvest to harvest. And I think the challenge of that interested my mom. She met Joe Swan and did some, consulting kind of thinking, throwing ideas around with people like that. And so that really got her interested. So that's what she focused on when she started the brand. She got Lyme disease and had to retire a little earlier than she had wanted to. And that's actually kind of why I ended up getting involved in the family business. I hadn't planned to go into the wine industry, actually. But when she had to walk away from this, I didn't want to see kind of all her work disappear and her story get lost, so I kind of jumped in to get involved. I made a kind of like late career change to do this. And I'd learned winemaking growing up from her in a very casual way, so I was comfortable doing that, but I'd never been involved really in the business side of it. So now I kind of take care of everything. But going back to your question, I keep my mom involved in tasting, talking about protocol, and she has 40 years of experience, and you're always running into issues or new challenges with a given harvest. And so for somebody that has that much experience, there's a lot of things to go back to kind of look at as comparisons and ways to solve problems, or to provide some insight into all the different things that come up in the course of winemaking.